If you've been dieting to lose weight and control your diabetes, today's video is to alert you to the fact that dieting done incorrectly can be dangerous for you. So not just disappointing, not just frustrating, but actually dangerous to your health. And this is especially if you're cutting calories without cutting refined processed foods, if you're losing weight without protecting your muscles. And today's video, we're going to talk about 3 ways in which dieting can be hurting you, and we're going to end by talking about what you can do instead so that you can burn more sugar, get rid of excess fat, and feel more alive in general. So let's get into the 3 ways in which dieting can be harmful to you. So the first one is when you diet incorrectly, you end up actually losing muscle, and muscle is very important for your metabolism. What is metabolism? It's the process by which your body extracts energy and nutrients from the foods that you eat. Now, in terms of the energy breakdown by our body, we have 60% of energy from our food going towards just keeping us alive, the staying alive functions of the body. So supporting our organs, our brain, heart, lungs, all the organs of the body, and even the muscle too, by the way, supporting all the tissues of the body, even at rest, takes up 60% of the energy from our food. Now, 30% of the energy from our food goes to physical activity, so any movement we are doing, and of course we need our muscles for that physical activity, so that takes up 30% approximately of the energy from our food. And then the remaining 10% of energy from our food goes towards digestion, so just the process of breaking down the food by the gastrointestinal tract and packaging it so that the energy can be and nutrients can be accessible by all the tissues of the body. That process of digestion takes up 10% of the energy from our food. Excuse me. So bearing that in mind, we can see that muscle plays a significant role, because if you have bigger muscles, then when you engage in physical activity, those bigger muscles are going to be needing more energy. They're going to be burning more energy, burning more sugar. And that's why men need more energy than women, because men, generally speaking, have bigger muscles than women. So yes, you're burning more energy during physical activity. It means that you get more bang for your buck when you do go to exercise, if you have bigger muscles. But additionally, it means that at rest, when you're sleeping, so doing nothing but sleeping, at rest, your bigger muscles are going to be burning more energy. So you don't have to think, oh, I have to exercise so much, because at rest, those bigger muscles will be helping you in terms of keeping your metabolism a little higher. So you can see how important having and maintaining the muscles that you have is going forward as you age. Now, losing muscle mass is a natural thing with age, and because we know that that happens, we have to go out of our way to stay more active and put more pressure against our muscles so that those muscles can stay big rather than continue to shrivel up with age. All right, so that gives you an idea of your muscle and the importance of preserving your muscle. If you preserve your muscle, you keep up your high metabolism. Now, if you go on a diet where you're just focusing on losing weight and you're not supporting, giving the muscle the nutrients that it needs, then the muscles will shrivel up and you will end up, yes, you will lose weight, and muscle, of course, is even heavier, it's more dense than fat. You will lose weight, but then because you have less muscle, if you fail or give up on the diet because you just didn't feel good, it wasn't sustainable for whatever reason, so you give up on the diet, but your muscles have shrunk a little bit. So when you go back to eating as you were before, eating the same amounts of food, same types of food, then you will have less muscle to suck energy from that higher amount of food, and you will end up gaining more weight. You gain the same weight and sometimes more weight because you have less of that tissue to suck the sugar and the energy from your food. So you have to be very careful about protecting your strength and protecting your muscles in general. All right. Now, the second point about dieting and how it can hurt you is getting to the point about calories, and the fact that yes, calories do count. Calories give us the energy that we need, but even or as important as calories is the nutrients from our food. So if we have calories but no nutrients or minimal nutrients, then our bodies will still be starving. So you have to consider that you must upgrade the nutrient quality of your food and not just cut calories. If you have 1,200 calories, but it's all mostly bagels and bread and pasta and so on, that 1,200 calories is going to be way poorer quality that compared to 1,200 calories of eggs and meat and fish and nuts and seeds and legumes. Those 1200 calories of those more complex unprocessed foods will give you much more nutrients. And when your body is getting not just energy but nutrients, you will naturally get satisfied and your hunger signal will naturally turn off. It's when you don't get enough nutrients that you continue to feel hungry because your body's still wanting for more. It's like, yes, I have energy, but I'm still waiting. I still want those vitamins. I still want those minerals. I still want those phytonutrients. So it keeps telling you to eat, hoping that you will eat something that has some or all of the nutrients that are still lacking in the body. So you have to focus on quality of your food over quantity. And if the quality is there in foods that are not overly processed, then you don't have to worry about overeating because your body will naturally tell you when you are full and naturally turn off the hunger signals for you. Okay. Fiber also is very helpful in your food. And the thing about fiber is that when you have a lot of fiber in your food, fiber traps some of the calories for you. If you're worrying about calories, having a lot of salad with fiber in your meal will cause more of the calories from your plate to stay within your bowel, in your intestines, to be passed out into the toilet compared to if you didn't have fiber. When you don't have fiber, you don't have this mesh trapping some of the nutrients and calories in your intestines, and so most of it gets to go through your intestinal wall and into your bloodstream. So that's one of the benefits of having the quality, upgrading the quality of your meals to include fiber as well. And then of course, upgrading the quality also includes protein. You have to include protein because protein is going to help feed the same muscles that we were talking about, and well-fed muscles will stay big and can potentially grow if you're lifting weights and putting strain against your muscles. Okay, and now on to the third point. Diets really end up draining you. Restrictive diets, I should say, diets where you're eating foods that don't have a lot of nutrients. Those kinds of diets will leave you very, very drained. Now, if you're feeling drained and you're not feeling very energized, then it means you will move less. And if you're moving less, then that physical activity, we spoke about how physical activity will use up 30% of the energy from the food that you're eating. But if you're having a restrictive diet that is taking away your energy rather than energizing you, you will not feel like moving, so you'll move less. So instead of using 30% of the energy from your food just with your physical activity, it might be 10%. So it means you have an extra, it might be 20%. So it means you have an extra 10% of energy that you're not burning off. If you're not burning it off, then it means you have to store it because it has to go somewhere. It's not just going to disappear like that law of energy from physics will tell you. All right. So you have to be aware of fad diets and restrictive diets because they'll cause you to be fatigued and ultimately move less and burn less energy. Another thing too, we spoke about how digestion takes up 10% of the energy from your food. But if you're eating mostly refined, simplified foods that don't require a lot of digestion, then you're going to you're going to need less than 10% of the energy from your food to burn your nutrients, to digest your nutrients. And so that also will contribute to leftover energy from food. And that leftover energy, if it doesn't get burned off, it's going to be stored and cause you to put on extra weight, and that might make your diabetes worse as well. All right. And then with all this restriction and feeling sluggish, and then you stop the diet, whatever the restrictive diet or fat diet was, and then you have a rebound in weight gain because you have less muscle and you just end up storing that excess energy. All right. So those are three of the reasons why dieting can be dangerous. One, because you lose your muscle. Two, because you lack nutrients. You end up getting less nutrients. And then three, the third point is that you feel sluggish and you cannot burn energy anyway because you're feeling so sluggish. So what you need to do is consider feeding your body with real food from the land and the sea. I like to say, keep away from those foods from the factory and instead have foods from the land and the sea. And how to tell what food is the best for you? If you can pick it off a tree, if you can dig it out of the ground, you milk it from a cow, you collect the eggs, you hook the fish from the sea, if you can collect your food like this, these are the foods you should have most of. We can't get away from processed packaged foods, yes, but we want to have less of those and more of the foods that naturally come from the land and the sea. And if you do that, if you focus on that, then you will automatically get satisfied. Your hunger would be satisfied automatically, and you won't have to worry about overeating, and you don't have to worry about dieting again. So I hope you found this helpful, and if you did find this video helpful, definitely go ahead and share it with someone who you know who would benefit from this information. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.